I mean, I know it's apple season now.
How are we doing this morning? Good. Happy Friday. Welcome to Sophia Salon, number 3. Yes. Language, talking about language today, powerful and playful incantations to bewitch yourself back to life, bewitch your dreams to life. I'm excited. I love also just any excuse to get dressed up, put on a costume. All right. Let's give another minute for people to turn their videos on. Yes, Whitney and Anne. All right, we all on? Whitney, we're waiting for you.
Oh, hi. I'm sorry. My camera's broken.
Oh, it's broken.
Yes, I haven't gotten a replacement yet. I'm so sorry.
What do you think, ladies? Are we going to let that slide? Are we going to trust that Whitney is here, fully present, here to create sacred space with us? Yeah. Okay, you're good, Whitney. You get a pass.
I will have it resolved next time, I promise.
You're good. You're good. It's a very cute picture. Is that your daughter?
Yes.
Yeah, super cute.
Thank you.
All right, so we are here, the Sophia Salon, and we're here to talk about words and the power of words and incantations. And so since this is kind of a, maybe not an expected topic, maybe it is, maybe it's not, but I am really curious, what intrigues you about this idea of language and using language or words to create our reality? And if you have any inkling or intuition how Sophia is connected to all of this, I would love to hear it. And I can't wait to share. And part of what we're going to do today is brainstorm and also share incantations, and just powerful words that we can play with in our everyday life. Making sure you can hear me okay and the music's not still going on in the background. No? Because I bet each one of us have some incantations, maybe we're not realizing we are repeating. And it's having an effect of some kind on our experience in the world. So language can disempower or empower reality. Do you want me to call on you, ladies? Yes, Brittany, you're up.
Words, I feel like, words are things, when you speak something out into the universe, into the air, it goes from something that is internal and now it's external. And when you have those words that are out and they're things, it matters what you say. And I feel like a lot of time, especially as women, we struggle with, or I know I struggle with a lot of negative inner dialogue, a lot of negative self-talk. And I think that when we allow ourselves to rest in our divine feminine spirit, there's really not a place for those negative things, because we realize that we are divine, we are connected, and those words don't, when they don't align with those ideals, we're not in balance.
Yes. Yeah, thank you so much for sharing that. When our words don't align with our ideals, we're not in balance. Yeah, that feels really true. There's the experiences of wholeness we get to participate in and are invited to participate in. That's who Sophia is this invitation to live from our wholeness and our divine feminine wholeness. When there's a mismatch between this energy that's so just integral, so potent, and the words, you don't get to stay in that balance or stay in that power. So thank you for sharing that. That's something I'll think of, Brittany. Abigail.
So I just started reading the Sophia codes, and it's very incantation or like channel like. And it's written as if the meditation aspects, as if there's this archetype or that ideal part, or like this divine aspect of ourselves, like speaking over us. And so the power of like reading those incantations or like meditations, we're actually doing it in a group and having somebody else read it over us, and so we can really be present to as if like it's like being like washed over us. And it's like those ideal like truths that feel true in our bones, but we don't like feel when we speak it out loud, or if we just think them. Those are like being washed over us. It like feels more true, or it's like, or even when we speak it ourselves, but it's almost like we don't know that it's true yet. And so when we speak it, or when it's spoken over us, it feels more true. It like becomes more real when it's spoken. So yeah, I like the idea of incantations and being able to kind of like almost like fake it till you make it kind of thing, so that it like becomes more real and like alive and activated.
It sounds so powerful to have blessings really spoken over. Just we got to be washed in it, and then it becomes that we can literally soak into our bones, soak into our cells, imprint on our being, and then it becomes way more natural to speak it ourselves. But I know for me, gosh, it's when there's like a praise deficit growing up, like maybe you didn't get the encouragement or the praise from female figures. It's almost strange to start having that language inside because it was never modeled, and it's like it needs to be called out in us. And so I love that idea. I think of incantations like blessings, right? Like, is there any difference? A blessing is an incantation, and incantation can be a blessing. So cool. Thank you so much for sharing that. Do you have anything off the top of your head that you can remember, like a line from it that just stuck with you?
Not really right now. It feels very like trancy. It's almost like you go in a trance when you receive it.
I imagine you do, for sure. Or maybe one way to look at it is you're finally awake.
Mhm.
As a hypnotherapist, one thing that my job was to get people out of the trance. It's like we're living in a trance. And so to be hypnotized is actually to wake up to a reality and a different way of seeing, a different way of relating. But so often we're in a trance. So I wonder if you're in a place where it's almost clear seeing, you're receiving that blessing. So cool. Thank you, Abigail. Katie.
Good morning,
Morning.
everybody. It's good to see everybody's faces. I have like really been diving into this idea of language this year, really. And how like our words really create our reality, and like the idea that like our words are what like encode our field. And so they're kind of like what we then attract like to ourselves. And yeah, just playing with like simple things, like instead of saying I want, like I'm like banishing the word want from my vocabulary, because really it's just a choice. Like I choose.
Yeah.
And the magic that has happened like in my life this year, since I like made that decision of like, I'm going to use my words differently. Like it all just is like reformulating. Everything's like reformulating around me. And I feel like the Sophia aspect, what I think is so beautiful about that is that we are like, I really believe that we all are here with our desires like already placed in us, like encoded into us from the divine. And so when we like work from this place of like our desire, like we're linking up with like our divine essence, and also we get to live into our desire. So it's such a big, huge topic, but
So
I love it.
I love what you're saying about it. It's because I mean, in the beginning was the word, and this word as a creative power. And I mean, I don't think it's coincidence, right? That God is the word. There's a seed in there for creation, and we come in with our desires, and we are just these souls that just want to experience and express and embody these desires. Like, how do we bridge? I mean, that's the question. It's like we have these desires and these dreams, and they're in here, they're in our world, and we want to share it out there in the other world, in this world, with each other, with in the world of people, place, and things. And how does that become, like, what is the bridge there? And I think it's language. It's the seed. Thank you, Katie. Can't wait to continue. Yeah, all the magic we get to do with language in this next 3 months. Okay, to you two.
Yeah, so I was especially excited about this topic because it's really been highlighted for me in my own work, just like within these days. I don't know, I was drawn to it before I had some light bulb moments. I've spent a lot of years working on really kind of uncovering the stories that have been holding me back and limiting beliefs and language, really, like the words that I was saying to myself. And I've just been struck with I don't know, I just feel like encouraged and ignited into this idea that, okay, maybe the work's not done, but now a lot of my energy is going into like, what do I want to create, and what words do I want to replace? And it's like there's this space that I've created, that I've gained awareness around, and now it's like, how do I want to fill it up? How do I own my well-being the way I've been owning the work of wounds and hurts? And so it just feels really it feels really empowering and fun, and more moving into that place of ease and flow that I've been craving. So
It's
yeah.
fun. I can tell like you're having fun with it. Like I feel the energy of playfulness.
Mhm.
Like just hearing you talk, it's like, oh my gosh, it's like a big sandbox I get to play in, like a whole new place to play. Like,
Yeah. And just the work can sometimes be grueling.
mhm.
So I'm excited to share space with the creating.
Yeah,
And the
yeah.
choosing, I love that, Katie. Like I choose.
I mean,
Mhm.
that's an incantation right there. It just automatically puts you into a place of power
Mhm.
instead of I want, and it's like I'm waiting for someone to give me. I'm waiting, I want, or I choose.
Yeah.
Totally different energy. Yeah,
Yeah.
so much to play with. Thank you, Juju.
Yeah. Thank
Katie.
you.
Robin.
Hey, everybody.
Come
So what I want to know is who's the word police? Like, who the hell said incantation is a word you can't use with the divine? Somebody stole it. It's like, that's just like hitting me right now. Because I was like, oh my God, incantation, you witches, or that, the bad, evil. It's like,
Mhm.
wow.
Right.
But really what I want to say, but I just threw that out there because that just hit me. Wisdom connected to Sophia and wisdom and Sophia. So what's happening to me in my life is
Mhm.
that the more I'm hooked into Sophia, the wisdom that's in me, that's already there, and I'm allowing that connection, the more I am into that and I meditate and I go in deeper and I allow that to be my life, the more she just cuts me off when I'm ready to rip someone. She cuts me off when I'm going to rip myself. Like, really? Do you want to say that? No, probably not. Do you really want to say that to yourself? Probably not. So I'm learning with her in me, and I'm just like, whoa, I love it. She used to be outside of me.
Yeah.
She was something that was outside of me. I always knew of Sophia. I always knew wisdom. That was God, the Holy Spirit, all that. Now it's like really part of me because she's
And
me.
what got you there?
Oh, well, signing up with you, first of all, doing like I had to be broken.
Yeah.
I came into this very, very broken. So I was willing to understand things differently because what I was doing was not working. And I knew there was more.
Yes.
Yeah.
The embodied meditations are so powerful for that. Inside.
Huge.
Yeah. So when we get to not just learn about the different archetypes, the different divine feminine archetypes, but we actually activate them.
Yeah.
Inside of us. I mean, that's how I design the meditations to be activations. And so you've done that. And now it's like, okay, I am experiencing the divine feminine in all her spectrum. That's wisdom. That's Sophia, right? We don't have to choose one way of being. It's not just the cosmic mother or the seductress or the sacred fool. It's like we get access to all aspects of the divine feminine. And what's interesting, you ask, who's the word police? Yeah. Why can't we say enchanted? Incantations. Guess what enchanted means?
What?
It's to be filled with great delight. Who is that about? Sophia.
Yeah.
So, enchanted means to be filled with great delight, to bewitch yourself, to bewitch, to be bewitching is to enchant and delight. And what I know about Sophia is she is the signature of delight.
Yeah. So did the forefathers that landed in the Plymouth Rock, or did they decide it's like, you know what, we don't want those words here in our religion, so who did it?
Out, right? Like, the divine feminine wasn't celebrated or encouraged, and so, but this is the invitation now. Like we get to reclaim, we get to enchant ourselves and enchant each other and bewitch our dreams and bewitch ourselves back to life. I mean, that's how I feel it. It's like every single time I choose delight, I am bewitching myself back to life. And delight is to lure away. And so what is luring us? A lot of darkness and despair and discouragement is luring us. But to delight is to be lured towards what's magic? What can I create? Like, what's the possibility here? So, yes. Thank you so much, Robin. Yes.
That's it.
So good. Priscilla. Welcome back, girl.
There you go. Can you hear me?
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. I'm really excited about this topic. This is actually, I've always understood the power of words. It can create life and uplift, or it can create death and suppression. And I've always understood it, but I never applied it to me. And that's the season I'm in. I've always been very careful of making sure I bring the beauty and the light in people. I mean, even I could be in a Starbucks line and I see somebody and I know right away, like, when has that person heard something amazing about themselves? And I'll turn around and just comment like, wow, you're so beautiful. I just want to tell you that today. And you could just see the impact, but I never applied it to me. And I grew up, and I am thankful for this. I grew up with a very affectionate, good, loving father. And my dad, I remember as a kid, he, being 3, 4, I have memories where he would tell me, like, you're so beautiful. If I was an artist, I would paint millions of pictures of you. If I was a photographer, I'd take pictures of you. Like, you're so amazing. And he engraved that in me. But growing up and being those darts of life, I heard the opposite from the person I chose to love, and I forgot about those moments. And in this season is just surrounding myself with people that are life-giving and positive words and encouragement, and that femininity and that Sophia, right? And thank God for Robin for bringing, especially in the season that I'm in right now. I'm like, I am enough. I am great. I have the authority over what I want to call into existence that yet does not exist. And I'm making a habit of waking up every morning, and before getting out of bed, before my feet even hit the ground, I'm like, I'm enough. I'm great. Today will be an amazing day. No matter what happens, good or bad, I have full control of me. And before my feet hit the ground, world, I'm ready for you. And I say that every day.
Wow, that's powerful.
And
that's an incantation.
yes. And I'm seeing like a new me birthing, and I'm able to give that to everybody around me. And it's just, that's why it excites me, this topic, because we create an existence of our world by what we say.
So many ripple effects. In yoga, they talk about the 5th chakra, our throat chakra. This is the seed. This is the seed that is the word. Like what we plant with our words, like grows into reality. This is how we manifest, is the sound vibrations and what we speak. And it has so many ripple effects. You think about a vibration and it going out, and it just goes out and goes out. And that ripple continues on into the universe.
Yes.
So cool. Thank you for all the beauty.
Yeah, and I just saw, and I highly recommend everybody. I just saw the Woman King, and I go check that movie out. I left feeling like I am a warrior, and now I'm not only gonna mentally uplift myself physically, and man, hoorah, watch out. Like, I lived empowered. Honestly, everybody, you need to watch it.
Okay.
Like,
Woman
it was amazing.
Okay. Everyone put that on their notes. We got to go watch it. Thank you so much, Priscilla.
Yeah.
Chelsea.
Hi, everyone. I think for me with Sophia, I think this is pretty much my first time really learning about Sophia, and something that was mentioned the first class was the reality that in Sophia there's light and there's darkness, and both matter and both are important. And I feel like it's such a step away from like the toxic positivity in Christianity that a lot of us grew up in, where it's like, I'm fine, God is good. Amen. You know what I mean? When actually everything is terrible. So I feel like with Sophia, there is power in validating emotions and being a witness to your pain and saying, this really sucks. This is terrible. I'm really sad right now. And in this moment, I'm safe. And in this moment, I know that whatever will find me is for me. You know, it's not, I think for a long time, I'm sure a lot of us have felt like we have to be so positive and we have to always see the bright side of everything because of how we grew up, you know? But I think it's so refreshing and freeing to live in the truth that everything matters and everything is validated and we can witness everything without having the pressure to be a certain way.
Yes, thank you so much for bringing up that point. It's so important, right? It's easy to just bypass what's real and just move into the magic. I want to like use an incantation like a duct tape, but that's not it at all. It's like, no, first we got to be with, like Robin said, I just got to be with how broken I feel and how everything's messed up. My life is not going the way I thought it was going to go. Like I'm hurting, I'm suffering. And sometimes I find the most powerful incantations are the groanings of my soul. When I just like release through sound, like scream, wail, cry, like be so raw with the emotion, like that's power. Because then you hear yourself and your body is like, you're literally releasing the energy through sound and you're reminded you're alive. And then from that alive place, you can create something new. So it gives me goosebumps. Thank you so much, Chelsea, for bringing that in, because that is Sophia. She's the light and she's the dark, and she gets to hold it all. And in holding it all, we get to create something generative. Like we get to move forward with new life and truth, like our own. So beautiful. Whitney.
Hi.
Hi.
So this is my first experience, second time attending, but first experience getting to formulate an understanding of Sophia. I wasn't aware of it, but I feel like I've always kind of tried to listen to that inner person, not knowing her name, you know?
Yeah.
And I've always understood that words are very powerful, and you can create good, you know, or you can create destruction. And so I love listening and I love learning and I love tapping into this feminine wisdom that's always been there, but for whatever reason, society, disappointment, whatever, just suppresses that divine femininity and we allow it. And so I feel like I'm at a point in my life where I'm taking that power back.
Yes.
I've always been aware of the power of my words and always tried to put so much good out there. But then, like Priscilla said, forgetting to invest in my replenishing. So I love listening to these different not only incantations, but it's truth. And you have to be careful with the thought, because the thought then creates the words that creates your reality. And I don't know, I'm enjoying a lot of this learning and a lot of this listening, and being able to give my divine feminine wisdom a name it's pretty powerful.
Yeah, isn't it?
Yeah.
I agree so much. I remember just how good it was to meet Sophia within me and to be able to begin this relationship. And the name is so important, right? Because it's the beginning of a friendship. What is your name? And it's
right.
We acknowledge, we feel that seen. And so just acknowledging this part of us with a name. And it can be anything. If the Sophia is not working for you, you can choose whatever you want, but to acknowledge her with a name is an important part of being seen and developing a relationship. So I'm so excited for you, Whitney, in this journey that you're on, and so much is going to awaken and blossom from here.
Yeah, thank you for letting us attend, and of course Robin.
Yes,
right?
thank you so much, Robin. Bring in your gals. Cool.
Thank you.
Emily.
Almost started talking with my mute button up. Yeah, I just have a couple of things that have been coming to mind. One, Robin, what you were saying about the word police. you should read this book if you like fiction. It's called The Dictionary of Lost Words. It's about exactly that, about how women's words were like, by the people who created the dictionary, who were defining our language, we're leaving words out. And many of those words were words that that women used and that were important to women. So it's a really great story. It's fictionalized, but based kind of off the real thing. So that kind of addresses that. But,
Really cool. Yes.
yeah. But yeah, what's been coming to mind in this conversation is just kind of how much words really do create our world, and how much the way we use language can impact how we feel. So like, even the way we use the English language to say like, I am depressed. Well, now this is your identity. Instead of, I am experiencing these emotions, these body sensations, that I can make space for all of them and to be able to sit with that. Or like the labels we use, even from our previous, I know a lot of people came from Christian backgrounds. I got the idea through Christianity growing up, that I am sinful, I am bad, and that became my label. So using self-compassion practices as incantations and sitting with what comes up and speaking life and speaking love and kindness over myself moved me from like suicidal self-loathing to a place of worthiness and wholeness, and now getting to share that and help other people through therapy create stories has been amazing. So I just know how powerful words are, especially those that we speak over ourselves and our own hearts and souls. So
thank you so much for sharing that. And I don't probably no more powerful words than words that like define our identity.
Yeah.
Is our identity.
I'm good, I'm whole.
Right?
Yeah.
Like that is so important, because we will remain consistent with our inner identity, our self-image. And if we've been labeled, I am bad, I am sinful, I am depressed, man, breaking out of that is literally creating a new reality.
Yeah.
You rewiring. So beautiful. Yeah. Check out the chat box, Emily. There's some sweet words for you, some blessings and incantations. And
can you hear me?
Mm-hmm.
So when we talk about incantations, and from what I've heard, it's so powerful just witnessing all of this in the first place. So like, thank you everyone first and foremost, because your words are really touching me in like different parts of myself right now. I'm noticing now, I think it's been a year since we've really kind of worked together, Morgan, that I'm now managing a team, and it's like amazing to see how Sophia has like entered in a lot of conversations that I have with them when some people are bringing up a lot of major concerns on their end. And I feel like when I'm talking to them, it's not me talking half the time. I feel like that wisdom is coming out, and it's like, oh, have you tried thinking about when someone articulates, or when I articulate a problem, the solution is around the corner when we actually bring voice to the situation itself.
Mm-hmm.
So I find it very interesting that those spells and those incantations are when we take ownership of the situation itself, that darkness, and we bring it into the light.
Yes, that's it. Bringing what's in the darkness to the light. That's so cool. Congratulations on your growth this past year.
Thank you. Lots of big things coming my way.
Yeah. Jess.
Hello. Yeah, like where do I begin? I won't make this long or anything, but love what Robin said, and Emily as well. And my background's with Christianity, and haven't read the Bible in like 3 years. And so it's just been a big journey of like understanding that background and like who I'm becoming. And it was interesting the other day, I kind of like fell apart, because it's like you hit that rock bottom of like, man, I am,
Mhm.
you know, fucking up everything around me. I'm not bringing my family the love they deserve. And it's all because of what's like going on in here, in my mind and what I'm thinking. And so I've always tried to do a lot of like meditations or like rewiring and telling myself different stories to help me change and get out of like just crappy mindsets and stuff. And so I was kind of like gearing up for that. And then like before I had this meltdown, I was like on the brink of it happening, and the Bible verse, all about love, just like I couldn't keep from repeating it. I was just like repeating all that love is. And it made me kind of think that like I am is within me, whereas my upbringing was I am is out there, even though he is everywhere. It's not in here. In here is the sinful, bad person that struggle is the name of the game in life and stuff. And so it was just interesting to realize that like there's this holiness within me that wants to come out and like love and experience pleasure, and passion is kind of like the words I keep hitting on for myself, is to just experience passion. If I'm out of passion and I'm in anxiety or grind, like I need to stop and get myself back into passion and love. And it's just been weird, kind of like, so part of my like incantation I've been reading every morning is, and it feels taboo because of my background, but I capitalized it, the thing I read that says I am, because Christianity, you know, like the I am is out here, it's God and stuff. But I am is like within me, and like we're all connected, and because I am is within everybody. And it's all about everybody like waking up to realizing that all that good stuff is like, it is in there, but there's this other thing that kind of like hampers it. And some people aren't even awake to it. And so I just feel like I'm in the right place, kind of being on these calls. And I've never heard of Sophia except for you, Morgan. And so these calls have really made me be like, well, what's all that about? I think there's like more to that I don't really realize. But something inside of me is kind of like guiding me to like these things, because I desire to be like fully in line with whatever is good and holy and pure and stuff, which is so many things that have bad labels on them, you know, like our sexuality or our expression. If we want to express all this femininity, or we want to express something else. And so I don't know if I'm making sense, kind of rambling on my thoughts, but
the I am is so powerful. I just want to just underscore that, as I mean, in the feminine wholeness method, there's a key phrase for each one of the energy centers that reminds you of your wholeness and the resources, because every single one of the energy centers is like a sacred well of resources to bring us back to our wholeness. And the energy center of our throat, the key phrase is I am in my voice. And when we speak from the ground up, when we speak from our wholeness, there is such a power and a reclaiming, a reclamation of I exist. I mean, I am. That alone for a woman is healing, because we've been dismissed, we've been not seen, we've been ignored, we've been rejected, we've been disrespected, dishonored, all the things. And so just to stand and speak, I am, I exist. Like that is, yeah, every morning, I am. Beautiful. Thank you so much for your share, Jess. So glad you're here, and I'm excited for you to continue awakening the Sophia within you.
Yeah, me too.
Diana and I were up late last night. We were karaoke singing close to midnight. But I was thinking, Diana, karaoke singing is like an incantation. Like the certain lyrics, like we get to embody and like It was like
Yeah. What was that one that we did? And I think we were both in that moment. We're like, isn't it beautiful? Isn't it beautiful what it's saying? And
yeah. How are you
Yeah.
feeling?
well, I could have done with a little less wine, I think. Um,
Well, truth be told, I'm still wearing my fake eyelashes from last night.
I was wondering, I'm like, is that a filter or is good for you? And your shoes are on my living room floor, so I'll have to get those to you. Anyway, I know I joined a little bit late, not because of that, but so I kind of missed the intro, but this is all really, while I am aware of Sophia and because of your work and the number of years that I've known you and been familiar with what you do, I was just thinking as I was listening to this that I think I don't really completely understand. So maybe being raised very strict Catholic, going to Catholic school, and there, obviously we had Mary, which was unusual for some religions, but like the female presence, this idea of Sophia is not something that has like, I don't think it's been able to fully sink in. I appreciated what you said, Jess, when you were talking about like, just not knowing a whole lot about it. But so I don't feel like I have anything to offer from that standpoint, but what I wanted to say is thank you, all of you, for the words that you're saying and the things that I'm hearing. It's so inspiring, and it gives such hope that life can be different. I could relate to what you were saying, Jess, with the like something about not being fully here, and like with the family, I have a lot of guilt about not doing all the things that I feel like I should be doing for my family. And just kind of being the best person that I can for them. I feel like it's my most important role, and I struggle with a lot of guilt around that. And so the idea of this being able to embrace and use these the meditations and going through the course that I'm going through right now with Morgan, and learning about that, and that I can embody this and use these to my advantage, gives me such hope that I don't really know if I need to change anything. I think what needs to change is up here. I'm probably doing just fine, and just taking that pressure off myself and being able to realize that more. Anyway, I just feel super hopeful when I'm hearing all of you. So thank you.
I love you, Diana. Diana and I have been friends for a long time, and she's come on a couple Sophia retreats, and it's just
yeah, you think I'd have it by now, right? You think I get it.
No,
that upbringing is really strong.
It's really strong. But yeah, it's awakening in you, and you don't have to change anything. You get to activate these other parts of you that are really yours. It's like they've been like lying dormant, and now you get to activate them and step into it and play and just enjoy it for yourself. And that does have ripple effects in every direction, family and all that good stuff.
Thank you.
Thank you, Diana. Jillian.
Hi, everyone. Sorry for my video. I know it has a little bit of a lag. So again, I kind of popped in a couple minutes late, but I think what we're expressing here is our idea of and our experience of what these incantations are in our own life. And I'm reading, Montessori books right now about parenting, and one of the phases is language and the development of language in babies and toddlers and children. And she expressed, the author, that that language is sound, and sound therefore is vibration, and vibration is touch. And that's why we say stuff like "and did," like that really touches me, or I'm touched by this. And I'm just putting those connections together that, it really is, if we think of our words as, how is this touching me? How is this landing on my heart or my mind, or someone else's? I think it's, so that's just hitting me, and I'm gonna keep
that.
working with
Thank
that.
you for
And
sharing that. Wow, I love that. It's really hitting me too. That vibrations, like vibrations. We touch it, it lands in a certain way. It's a touch. That's how beautiful is that? Like that would definitely, and it will. I'll think about that, and that's going to change what comes out of my mouth. Thanks. Thank you for sharing that with us too.
Thank you.
What I thought would be fun. Are you guys familiar with Laurel Erica's work? Okay, I'm gonna share my screen. We're gonna listen to 2 minutes of her YouTube video. She has a YouTube video called The Secret Spells of the English Language. She is so passionate about language and words and the meaning of them and the poetry of them. And she talks about the English language being the operating system of the Western mind, and using the metaphor that we are programming ourselves with the language that we speak. And it's not just personally, but it's collective. And so the words that we share in our collective, and just the colloquialisms and the way that we phrase things. And so we're going to watch this. Let me know if the sound works, because I have a microphone in, so I'm not sure what happens when I share my screen, but we'll figure it out. And then we'll circle back. So share screen. Can you hear it?
So what do I mean by the secret spells of the English language? Well, let me share with you what I call our premier life sentence. And it goes something like this. We awake each morning and go off during the weekdays to earn the living at various jobs and undertakings until we come to the weekend. And this seems perfectly acceptable to most people. However, more people die between 6 and 9 on a Monday morning than any other time of the week. So I do what I call a translation of the English language, and I spell that Trance, with the idea that words cast spells. So when you translate that life sentence, you remember that awake is a funeral party for the dead. Mourning is the state you're in when you attend a wake. And you would have to be in a weekdays to earn the living, since urns are for the ashes of the dead. We call our jobs undertakings. Job itself is a Hebrew word for persecuted. And what we get at the end of this perverse bargain with life is the weak end of the deal, as we become progressively weakened ourselves. And so our most prevalent greeting to each other is hello, the reverse of which is, oh, hell. And at first, I suspected the hands of collusion entangling the language to foster illusion. And I think it's quite true that a culture's theology has a great deal to do with the word's etymology and how it evolves over time to combine incompatible meanings that may undermine the original thoughts it was meant to define. But now, I don't think it's planned. For the thing that I've found is that like concepts can gravitate toward the same sound and vibrate at the rate that our thoughts designate. Because words are electromagnetic vibrations whose fine alphabetic tintinnabulations can take on the tint of our true expectations, which they then imprint on our metal of mind, causing sounds to adhere when they're of the same kind.
As a politician in Salem, Christine Drazen killed emergency funding for more shelters. Local businesses need a government who will
Please
finally
stop.
take action.
Sorry about that last part. That's kind of jarring. Did you hear it? Right. So Laurel Erica, this idea that, yes, the English language is a spell, and how we use it, is it empowering us or disempowering us? I've heard her on different podcasts recently, and she even talks about the nervous system. We call it the nervous system, but what we could call it is an electromagnetic system. And instead of saying amen, I'm in. Like just these ways in which we can start playing with language and see how it resonates in our body. Like I remember just playing with that. It's like, amen or I'm in. It's like when I said I'm in, it was like something shifted in my body. So just play with it right now. It's like, amen, I'm in. It's like, so be it. So that is just a tiny little incantation to start playing with at the end of your prayers. I'm in, yes, so be it. So curious, what? I mean, that was a lot. She's a magic woman. She's a poet and she's been thinking about language her whole life. But I would love to hear what stood out to you.
I did want to say something while we still have time. It's on the topic, but not what Laurel was saying. But there's a book by Sue Monk Kidd, who my first introduction to Sophia was in her book Dance of the Dissident Daughter. Yes. And she has a novel out that is from the point of view of Jesus's wife. Yes. And her aunt gives her an incantation bowl, and they use the word incantation bowl and prayer bowl like together. And she says, choose what you inscribe on your incantation bowl carefully because it will come true. And she writes in her bowl, Lord our God, hear my prayer, the prayer of my heart. Bless the largeness inside me, no matter how I fear it. Bless my reeds, pens, and my inks. Bless the words I write. May they be beautiful in your sight. May they be visible to the eyes not yet born. I think that incantation bowl, and not just saying the words out loud, but engraving them in a prayer bowl that you spin, and it's just a spell. It is an incantation. It's a prayer. And I know that was a little off topic from the video we just watched.
Thank you. That was magic. I felt it in my body. It felt like a blessing hearing you read those words. I read that book a couple years ago, and it just is magic to me.
That book changed. It changed the way I view Christ. It changed the way I view like the true teachings of Jesus. It's a beautiful book.
I just think that's a beautiful blessing for each one of us to be praying over ourselves and each other. Like, bless the largeness within me. Bless the largeness within me.
Even when I fear it.
Even when I fear it. Exactly. Even when I fear it. Yeah. Well, we can talk. We just have a few minutes left. We don't have to talk about Laurel Arca's work. I just thought it was really cool. You guys can go down a rabbit hole with her YouTubes and her podcast. She's making her way around the podcast circuit right now, so you might see her name come up. But just some fun facts that I learned from her, like spelling, right? Like we teach our kids spelling. It's right there in the word spell, and also grammar. It comes from a French word, grimoire, which means a magic book of spells. So I love it when it's like right there in front of us the whole time, like there's this connection and it's right under our noses. And now we can start working with it consciously, intentionally. Anything else? Yeah. Anyone want to share a thought before we go? Just even a frame from today?
I did want to share. So that's funny. I didn't know that lady's name, but I did see a video of her, and it allowed me to be careful with how I even speak with to my children. Like, you're a bad kid, or just being conscious of the words. But when I heard her saying about how we start our day by telling people good morning, you're already putting that upon them, like greet upon the beginning of their day. Yeah, so that was impactful, and to now connect the name to the individual. I definitely want to learn more about that, because we have no idea what we're projecting and what we are allowing others to receive the vibration of our words. I was even thinking of work, like my work related. I work in the senior industry, and we are the advice and the guidance to these families under distress and where they're needing solutions. And we have to be careful with the words we choose because they will vibrate to them. It could either allow them to feel heard or feel disconnected with us. Like, how amazing is that? Like, something so simple, right?
Yeah, yes, and so powerful. And Juju, Grand Rising is what Laurel Erica recommends playing with instead of good morning. Grand Rising. Start playing with that with your kids. Grand Rising, children. Grand Rising. And it's what's so wonderful about this is that there's so many opportunities to play. And you know, something goes from being just like mundane and blah to like, there's an energy to it that's really like an invitation for, oh my gosh, this is fun. This is play. This is doing something inside of me that's lifting me up. This is delight. And then, you know, just little moments can really shift in a day, shift a relationship, shift what's possible. So before I go, also, I want you to know that I'm creating something for us so we can continue these conversations. And I'm weaving together the best of my signature courses into Sophia, awakening the Sophia within. So it's geared towards women who want to really dedicate some time to awakening their inner Sophia, what that looks like, activating these different feminine archetypes, connecting to their body in a way with somatic practices, and experiencing their body as bliss, experiencing their body as a conduit of Sophia, and practicing with delight and how we can weave delight and use delight as a technology, because that is what Sophia has taught me how to do, and that is what I'm here to teach other women, is how to use delight as a technology. Technology that we get to change our own lives and change the world from this place of playfulness and realness and all that good stuff. So we have one more Sophia Salon next week, and I'm behind the scenes trying to get ready a community that's not on Facebook, but a place where we can continue getting together and growing even deeper. So look for that. Thank you guys so much for being here. It's so fun. It's just magic. I am taking so much with me that I've learned from each of you. And I hope you guys are doing the same. Just start playing with this and we can create magic for our families and for ourselves. So bewitch yourself today. Be filled with delight. Enchant yourself. Enchant those around you. And don't be afraid. Bewitching is the work of Sophia. Let's see, guys. Grace and peace.